Actually, now it's everything. It's my office, it's my recording studio, it's my practice room, it's where I do my office work, it's everything. And it's like a combined of all the things that I do. So sometimes it's just my office, sometimes I just use it for practicing, and then sometimes I use it to make records.
But how come that you suddenly make records in here? And how come you spent a small fortune on especially all those pretty expensive TubeTech blue boxes?
Well, as you know, the music industry has been fucked over the years. So what happened in Copenhagen, I guess that's probably all over the world, is that the many studios, they just disappeared. Slowly but surely. You couldn't be sure that you could just, when you had the inclination to make a CD, find a studio that had a good piano, had good acoustics, and everybody sort of moved into their bedrooms and made studios. And I bought my piano, which is a Steinway. I bought that a few years back, and I suddenly realized that there was no place that I could go and be guaranteed the same quality of piano that I had in my practice room in any studio in Copenhagen.
Okay.
So I decided I should follow the trend, but instead of moving into the bedroom, I thought that would be a little too small. I decided I was just going to make a studio in the room.
In this room?
Yes. And since the music I play is like live-based, almost every recording I've been doing over the years, it's been me playing piano and singing together with the band at the same time. No overdubs, it's just been like live production. Visiting New Orleans many times, I've always been introduced down there for the idea that you should play to the room.
Okay.
That the sound that you produce when you play music has to work with the room you are in. So I decided I would make this room my studio and make it in a way where you play to the room. That we set up in this room and we are able to hear everybody acoustically, and we make sure what is the instrument that makes the least sound, and this is where we set the standard. That the bass plays acoustic. So when you can't hear the bass, basically you're out of balance. And that of course puts your musicianship to a challenge, because you can't just play like for yourself or get the sound that you're used to when you play by yourself, or the drummer usually sits in an isolated booth. But here, everybody knows what's going on, because what you hear in the room is what's going to be on the computer. When I bought this piano, I realized that there's a big difference in the quality that you can get when you start paying the real money. And I decided I would not go for anything that would take off the quality that this piano has, or the quality that going into that type of session would have. So I decided I need to buy the best possible gear that I can get my hands on. And that's where TubeTech sort of arrived in my equation. It delivers, it makes the sound. It has this, when you hear something that is recorded on this gear, you sort of become curious for the sound.
Okay.
You want to listen to it. It sort of invites you to listen. Okay. I tried some other products, and I tried some of the consumer stuff that you would be introduced to if you go into like a regular music store. And it just didn't cut it. It became sort of flat in comparison. So that's why I decided I would go the whole length.
Okay.
And then instead of making like a real studio with a console, a mixing, I decided that if I get the preamps from TubeTech and some EQs and some compressors, I would actually have my mixing board there. So I have 8 tracks I can record on in this room. And here in this setting, the creativity comes out of getting the musicians to understand we play in this room. What we hear in this room is what's going to be on tape. If somebody is way too loud, that is how it's going to be. We can't change it in the mix. And TubeTech really helps me getting that message across, because it just sounds good. You know, what we hear in the room playing sounds good, and when we listen back through the computer, it sounds almost even better. you know, you have to consider what quality really is, and you know, you can get value for money, so to speak. You can get something that is so cheap that wow, it's a good buy. But when it comes to quality, it's you don't really. It's not about money. It's about what experience does this quality deliver, and TubeTech delivers, and it delivers now, and then it will deliver always. Same as a Steinway, you know. If it sounds good now, it's going to sound good in 10 years, and there's not going to be another instrument popping out all of a sudden that will be able to sound better. It might sound different, but it's not going to take away the quality of Steinway or TubeTech. It's going to be, you know, the same league. So the investment is sort of secure, you can say. Where if you go out and buy something that sounds okay, you can be pretty sure that tomorrow there's going to be another product that sounds just a little bit, you know, has some kind of added value to it, and you're just going to end up spending even more money buying cheap equipment.